difficulties. So I hope you guys are hearing us right now. If not, you will be able to listen to the show next week when we post it online on the Lafayette Food Junkie Facebook page. Joining me now is Michelle McFadden with Great Harvest of Acadiana. It is one of my favorite bakeries in town. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
I'm excited about being here. Thanks for having me.
It's king cake season.
Oh, yeah.
So you guys are doing something a little bit different this year with your king cakes.
We decided to bump it up a notch by doing this. We have conversation when a customer comes in the store, and we've dubbed our pecan king cake the buy one, give one king cake.
Oh, okay.
So when customers come in, we mention that if you buy a pecan king cake, which is, in my opinion, the best one, we in return will give a king cake to a nonprofit. So we started that. We've sent some to St. Joseph's Diner already. We have some tomorrow that we're going to be sending to Welcome House near Crowley. So we just wanted to be able to share the season with those folks that may not have, some, or looking for a little bit of joy in their lives. We thought this would be an easy way to do it. So the pecan king cake is the way to go. That's what we try to convince everybody in the store.
What makes y'all's king cakes different from other king cakes around Acadiana?
Well, the first thing is just the atmosphere in which you'll buy it. We offer free king cake slices every day to everybody that walks in the store. So we're just really excited about how our king cake tastes. We've developed a new dough this year and are really excited. It's a real supple, thin, and because, our breads are pretty hefty, so we've really worked hard at getting a dough that's really good with the king cake. And then we use, no preservatives, no artificial ingredients. It's all natural. Any of the swirls or fillings are just, that's what it is. Like the chocolate isn't really a chocolate pudding. It's mini chocolate chips, cocoa with sugar. So they're all handmade, made from scratch fillings as well.
I love you guys so much. You're one of my favorite places to go for breakfast during the week as a grab-a-go when I'm going to my day job. You guys do the egg wedges.
Yes.
Do you want to explain what that is for anyone who's never had one before?
Yeah, it's kind of a funny name, egg wedge, but it's basically a half sandwich, so thus a triangle. So we called it the egg wedge. And you can get it with veggies or with ham or bacon. And it's just kind of our version. People come in and say, I'm just not in the mood for sweet for breakfast. And I hear that. So we were like, hey, let's do our version of the Egg McMuffin, but it's way better than that. So eggs and cheddar cheese, and we bake the egg, and then we grill it right there on the panini. So it's nice and hot for you, when you come and pick it up.
It's also very evident that everyone there loves working there. Because I go in, I'm still tired, I just woke up. Being a bakery, y'all have probably been there since 3:00 in the morning. What time do y'all get there in the morning?
Well, the first baker comes in at 3:30.
Yeah.
The bread guy comes in at 4. So yeah, it's early for the first two folks in. The customer service people 6:00. So we really work hard at customer service. So many customers say, "I really want to work here" because they make it look easy. I love my crew is
so
very
happy,
good,
and it puts me in a great mood for the rest of my day. Like, everyone's so happy, cheerful. They're like, would you want to try a slice of bread or some sweets? Because you guys always have samples there. And
well, thank you.
I just leave with the biggest
that.
smile on my face. And you guys serve Rev coffee as well. Do they do a special blend for you guys as well?
No, we are just carrying whatever they have, at the time.
And I love that about you guys as well. And you brought us some snacks.
We did. Yeah.
You brought my favorite shortbread that I'm addicted to, and you brought us some cinnamon toast swirl as well. Which I am already brainstorming. I had brainstormed with Scott before the show that I want to make some French toast with it later in the week.
Somebody won an award a few years back using that as their French toast bread. And the reason I brought that is because, shortbread, we have some decadent things that are really hits the heart well, but like whole grain breads, we have that too. And that's good for the heart, actually. Right. So, we go from one side to the other of just something that's just good and comfort food and everybody, just loves it, to something that you can rely on for breakfast that's healthy, that'll keep you from snacking. So
they also have gigantic oatmeal chocolate chip cookies that are the size of your head. They're also great too. I feel like I'm 5 when I go in there because I want everything. I think they're Bayou bars.
Yeah, the fruit Bayou bars.
The Bayou bars are great too. I love the Dakota bread.
Mm-hmm.
You guys also do really great incentives for people that shop there a lot to get rewards and different things like that.
Yeah,
it's called being a loafer. How does someone sign up to do that?
Yeah, any customer that comes in, we just sign you up, get your phone number, and then we'll do some text promos, some really good deals. Sometimes we'll do get a sandwich and your combo, your side and your drink are free. So we've realized that the loyalty there, whenever we do those promos, it strengthens the relationship, and it's a good thing for us, and everybody loves to see what the deal is. So we don't do those more than maybe once a week, or less. But that we really like to do that.
And okay, so Great Harvest is a chain, but you guys are locally owned.
So yeah, and that could be a whole nother show. But,
right.
So I'll keep it short. We are a franchise. Chains are usually owned by a corporation, like one person far away, and they have managers in all their stores, like a McDonald's. A franchise is individually owned companies. So like our bakery is individually owned by us. I'm from Eunice, Louisiana, so I consider that local. And ours is even a step more, that we are a freedom franchise. You can go look that up. They patented the term freedom franchise at Great Harvest because it's extremely unique. We can do anything we want. There's only a few restrictions, and we get the wheat from Montana, which is the best wheat in the world, things like that. But actually in the contract it says anything not in this contract is fair game.
Wow.
So you never see a contract like that.
Yeah.
But what's really cool is we share ideas. It's really like an owner co-op. But yes, JP and I are in the store on a daily basis, which not typically happens a lot of times with franchises. But we are training people how to make king cakes all over the U.S. now, because we are friends with other Great Harvests. So it's real fun to trade those ideas in different locales. New Mexico may have a great salsa bread.
Right.
And then we can take that from them. So it's a neat relationship.
It's very unique because I always forget that, like in the back of my head, that there are different Great Harvests around the United States. But you guys, it doesn't feel like that. And so that's very, very unique. You guys also give a tremendous amount to charity. And you guys are also at the horse farm every Saturday,
right.
Correct?
Yeah.
So I think that's cool, and it's admirable that they have it set up like that for you guys.
Exactly, and we can purchase things locally. We're actually the first restaurant in Louisiana to be green certified by a third-party certification. So, and nobody else in Great Harvest system is green certified. So we can do unique things that we are passionate about, and they let us run with that. They want the owners to be in their stores. They don't want you to buy 5, like a Subway.
Right.
Minimum you need to buy 5 or whatever. So we love the relationship. They come in handy, the franchise, for logos or signs or things I don't want to have to deal with. They go certify the wheat. I mean, they make sure that wheat is the best ever, and then we get to bake with it. So we love that we can use local ingredients and participate in different slicing events and things that we want to do with the community here.
I love that about you guys. Like,
Thanks.
That's one of the things, again, why I love you guys. Y'all are so happy. Y'all do so much good in the community. Y'all are very much a part of the community.
Yeah.
You support other local vendors. I know when I go in there, you guys sell the belly course cheese that Wanda from St. Martinville.
We love Miss Wanda.
Yeah.
And there's some other cool things. Couchon Cannery is a new little business.
The bacon jam, yeah.
Somebody who owns it, Denise Cormier, used to work for us.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So We have their apple bacon butter, and we do some other things. Cajun Power. We have some Cajun Power things. Pecan oil, locally owned pecan oil business, and then when fruits come in that we can use in like figs. Ryan Dufresne has a fig farm in Youngsville. We'll get the figs and do things with that. Blueberries that come into season. Unfortunately, I haven't figured out how to make turnip bread or something like for the winter.
Yeah.
But when fruits or things that we can use in breads and sweets come into are ready for harvest, we try to do that, local things. So,
have y'all thought about doing, and y'all may do this because I haven't had lunch there in a while, soups?
Guess what? Next week.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, I mean, like tomorrow or the next day. Yes. We get those questions when it's cold. So we keep telling ourselves it's not cold enough. It's not cold enough. But I think the cool weather is here for a little bit. So we actually are going to make some soups, and we sell the dry version of them. So you can buy the dry soup if you like the soup that we served. So yeah, we're going to do soups. Look for that in the future.
What is probably your best-selling sandwich?
Ooh, spicy smoked turkey is a pretty good one because of probably the spiciness. We have another one that's kind of new, but it's been going pretty well. It's called the Baja Chipotle turkey. We use the turkey breast and avocado spread for that one, and with the chipotle mayo. But some of the hot ones, like spicy smoked turkey, the Tuscan chicken is a really favorite. And then, we have some veggie sandwiches and salads too for people who are trying to do the veggie thing so lots of good sandwiches, and salads and we cater. So if anybody ever can't get out the office, we deliver.
Yes, I've had some of your catering stuff before at a place that I used to work. So
give us a call.
Love it. Okay. Thank you so much for joining us, Michelle.
I'm so glad you invited me.
Yeah, and
fun.
I'm looking forward because I actually had the crazy idea of doing a king cake blind tasting with some other food writers in town and some pastry chefs. And then we're going to have some regular everyday people who just love king cake judge it too. And I kind of got the idea because the advertiser had posted something about king cakes, and then another food blogger had posted pictures and to tell. And I was like, you know what? So many king cakes can be recognized by sight. I was like, let's just do it by taste and blindfold everyone. And so we have 13 participating bakeries, and we're going to be doing a blind king cake taste off for the best king cake in Acadiana. And you guys are one of the participating bakeries. So thank you for joining us.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, we are going to take a break, and when we come back, we have Christopher Thames with Grand Coteau Bistro. So come back to us. It's the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPAL.
Oh, once upon a midnight period, what was something in my head? I couldn't escape.
This is the way we wash crawfish. Man, hello, I'm the official crawfish washer at Crawfish Town, USA, yeah. Gee, pal, we wash every crawfish before we serve them to you. We don't serve no crawfish that look like they've been to a mud wrestling contest on the levee, no. We wash behind their ears, underneath their shallow arms, and those big pinchers. Ay, you're going in the pot now. Take it from the official crawfish washer at Crawfish Town, USA. Right now, we got some beautiful crawfish, and they're full of that juicy crawfish meat. When you get your order in for fresh Louisiana crawfish at Crawfish Town, USA, you get it seasoned just the way you like. From mild to strap on your seatbelt and hang on, Sha. Oh, yeah. And if you want something else to eat, we got a whole menu to choose from at Crawfish Town, USA. May you have nice people wait on you, too, yeah. Let me tell you how to get to Crawfish Town, USA. Get off the I-10 exit 115, go north about 1/2 mile, and on the right-hand side is Crawfish Town, USA. Well, I got more crawfish to wash. This is the way we wash crawfish.
Welcome to the offices of Dr. Ann Laurent and her 6-Month Smiles program. 6-Month Smiles is a cosmetic solution for straightening your teeth, and it only takes an average of 6 months. Clear braces and tooth-covered wires gently straighten your teeth. People will barely notice you're even wearing braces. Call the dental offices of Dr. Ann Laurent. 406-1110. That's 406-1110. And ask about 6-Month Smiles. Online at drannlaurent.com. No more stress at the dentist. If you visit the offices of Dr. Ann Laurent, you'll notice the difference the moment you walk in, with amenities like soothing aromatherapy and spa hand treatments. Dr. Ann Laurent and her staff of professionals offer standard cleanings plus a full array of restorative and cosmetic high-tech dental services for the entire family. Cosmetic braces to anxiety-free sedation to bonded resin fillings. Call 406-1110. Online at drannlaurent.com.
Keeping with our annual tradition, Jim Olivier's Home Improvement is once again offering our winter sale. To keep our workforce employed during the winter months, we've reduced our prices. Jim Olivier's craftsmen are known throughout Acadiana as the best in our area. It's our responsibility to keep them working through the winter months. It's the best opportunity to own Jim Olivier quality, so call today. There is no comparison. We have set the standard. Roofing Louisiana specializes in roof repairs and replacements for your home. It's our desire to provide you with a smooth, stress-free project with the best possible results for your budget and establish a relationship of trust. At Roofing Louisiana, we understand the value of your home. So trust Acadiana's only platinum and recommended roofing provider. Call 235-ROOF. That's 235-ROOF. We're not leaving town.
Welcome back to the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on Newstalk 96.5 KPEL. I'm your host, Tiffiany Decou, and joining me now is Chef Christopher Thames with Grand Coteau Bistro. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
And you are in full chef garb because, like the chef life, you came from brunch service.
I came directly from brunch service to come here. Yes, I did.
How is brunch going over there?
It's good. We just changed our new menu. It's up online at grandcoteaubistro.com. We've added a lot of new items. We've lowered our prices a little bit, so it's a little bit more accessible to everybody, and we're really excited about it, and the feedback has been absolutely phenomenal.
I need to get over there and try it. I looked up the menu online. I read menus like romance novels. Like I think any good food writer should do.
Absolutely.
So I've enjoyed perusing your menu before. So how did you get your start? Like, what made you decide I want to be a chef?
It's always been that way. I grew up in the 70s. I grew up in Southeast Texas, in Nederland, Texas, which is on the Louisiana-Texas border. And I spent all my summers as a child in New Orleans. My grandfather was the academic dean of the Baptist Seminary in New Orleans for 42 years. So I got a lot of New Orleans influence, and I started stirring roux at 3, and I wrote my first recipe for gumbo at 6.
Wow!
Yeah, the little chief paper that you learn to write cursive on.
Gumbo recipe.
It was a gumbo recipe, and it said shrimp gumbo. It says peel shrimp, add tomatoes, onions, okra, cook all day. That's the whole recipe, and I still have it. It's fantastic.
I think that you should try to make that recipe from how you wrote it.
It wouldn't be very good.
And see how it tastes.
It wouldn't be that good.
This is where it all started.
It did.
with this gumbo recipe.
And I also, my grandmother was a phenomenal cook, and I spent most of my time not only watching Sesame Street, but Jacques Pepin and Julia Child and The Galloping Gourmet, and PBS was my channel.
Yeah.
Because back then we only had 4 or 5 channels, and that was it. And then a series called Great Chefs of America came on, and I was enamored by it, and I couldn't get enough. And I knew at that point that that's what I wanted to do. So you could pretty much say that I was put on this earth to put forks in mouths, and I've been doing it for almost 30 years now.
And that's a long stretch.
It is a long
stretch. For a chef. And you were on Chopped, and you won Chopped.
I won in 2011.
What was your winning dish?
Well, actually, probably all 3 of them. We had some pretty interesting baskets. The first basket, just to run through them fairly quickly, I had razor clams, udon noodles, pickled eggplant, and watermelon radish. And I knew everybody was going to do something Asian because of the udon noodles, so I went kind of the French route, and I made a honey vinaigrette, and I do poach the razor clams in wine, and that was fantastic. Didn't get chopped, and I went to the second one. We had diver scallops that were in the shell, and we had to open those with leeks, vermouth, and fingerling potatoes. So with my background coming from this area, I took the Italian sausage that was in the refrigerator and I turned it into andouille. So I did an andouille cream with melted leeks and the seared scallops, and I served it in the shell, and they thought that was very awesome. And for dessert, I had Thai basil, cipollini onions, Braeburn apples, and oats. And you think Thai basil, and its flavor, where am I going to do with that? So I ended up making a cookie out of the cipollini onions and using that in place of some of the egg and the sugar because they're already caramelized, Thai basil, and the oats. And then I took the apples, flambéed them with brandy, and added some blueberries and pureed that in the Vitamix and made a soup. So
wow, I can see why you won.
It was pretty awesome.
I could never compete on a show like that. Did you do any kind of prepping beforehand? Like,
I didn't watch the show.
You didn't watch the show?
No. I didn't want to know where the cameras were. I didn't want to know where, anything. I'd seen the show once or twice before I had even applied. And, when I knew that it was going to happen, I just stayed away from it because I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think about it.
I think I would have friends just make random baskets for me to like prep for the show. That's why I was wondering, like, if you did any kind of, I could not even imagine cooking in that kind of environment, like not knowing what you're cooking, the time frame. It's such high stress. How does that compare to working in a busy night on the line in a restaurant?
Well, it's interesting because a lot of my career is catering background.
Mm-hmm.
So off-site catering, so if you forget something, you have to come up with something that you've sold to the client.
Right.
So sometimes you have to go through cabinets or whatever the case may be, and I've always prided myself on being able to go in anybody's home and come up with 5 courses with whatever they have in the refrigerator. So that was the idea of me going on the show that I think that I could have maybe possibly won. So I was very lucky that I got through as well as I did, and they beat me up a little bit. And I had Jeffrey Sakarian and Amanda Freitag and Aaron Sanchez, and it was the last episode of the season, so I got to see the whole process of them breaking down the studio and everything else.
Yeah,
and they were pretty tough during the show. And we got there at 5:30 in the morning. We met at Whole Foods at Washington Circle in Manhattan, and I didn't leave until 10 o'clock that night.
So y'all did it all in one day?
All in one day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, God. See, and that's like adding to the stress because as the viewer watching it, you see one aspect of it, right, but what's really going on is something completely different.
Correct.
And it's so hard and it's so stressful.
And it is. And a lot of people ask me about it and they say, "Do you actually have 20 minutes? Do you actually have 30 minutes?" And I'm like, "Absolutely." Because that's the show.
Right.
But what people don't realize is that there's a lot of B-roll that happens in between. There's a lot of they take pictures, they clean the kitchen, they do all those different things, and then you come back and you do your another half hour. And that's all you get. Clock is the clock.
Yeah.
And what they do is to add excitement to it is how it's all about the editing.
What was your biggest takeaway or lesson from doing Chopped?
Well, that's interesting. I looked at it more as just another job. It was one of the best paydays that I've ever had. And even though the government got most of it. No, I'm kidding. But what did I take from it? I took from it that, it was right after the economy had taken the tank in 2009 and 2008. And it showed me, I still do have what it takes. And that's why I ended up coming here and opening the restaurant. And that's what got me out of that funk. There was a lot of people losing jobs. There was a lot of cutbacks. And,
right.
And we're going through that kind of now. And it just showed me that, I can still do it.
What made you decide on Grand Coteau for your restaurant? Being from Texas, growing up summers in New Orleans, why Grand Coteau?
Well, it's interesting because I have traveled the world. I was in D.C., New York, Philly, Seattle, all over Europe. I ended up winning the show, and I had 4 opportunities, and I chose Houston. And Houston wasn't the same Houston that I left in 1989. It was completely different. It took me a half hour to get anywhere I wanted to go, even to the grocery store. I had an opportunity to come to Baton Rouge where I met my partner, and we had done a whole bunch of traveling throughout the state. My partner was with the the Main Street program of Louisiana. So I got to meet a lot of people, and we knew about the restaurant before. It wasn't even on my radar until I got the keys. And once I opened the doors and saw the floors and felt the energy of the building, I was like, this is where I want to be.
And for people who aren't familiar where it's located, it is the old Catahoulas.
We're in the old Catahoulas, right in downtown. We're at the only stoplight, and it was built the late 1800s, and it was Mr. Ivy's grocery store, which many people remember going as children to buy candy and flour and all that kind of stuff. And people have very fond memories of the building.
Yeah, I haven't been to the building. I've just heard so many stories about Catahoulas, and a lot of people in the restaurant world in Acadiana are some way affiliated with Catahoulas as well. So it has like a lot of historic significance.
And that was a big thing too, was me filling the shoes of what was.
Right.
And I feel that we are on the trajectory of doing that. We took occupation August 1st. I didn't have a walk-in until 4 days before I opened.
Oh, wow.
I barely had any time to train. And September and October, I couldn't tell you a day if anything happened whatsoever, but it was all happening at once. It was all a blur. And we're finally getting to the point of where we're changing our menus and, having fun with it and getting excited about it. We live in the pantry of Louisiana. We have so much wonderful products within a 20-mile radius of us, and it's a chef's dream to be here. And the musicians and the artists, like with George Marks, what he's doing in New News. Within a 3-mile radius, I have 5 Grammy-nominated musicians that come and sit at the bar and just chit-chat. Where else can you get that?
And Toby Rodriguez lives just down the road.
Toby.
From the restaurant
he's fantastic.
as well. Yeah.
I actually went to the boucherie that he put on not too long ago in November, and it was one of my first experiences of a boucherie, and it was fantastic. I got christened with deer blood, and a friend of mine came from Texas, and she's actually opening her first brick and mortar as we speak. She came and got all kinds of ideas and stuff like that. So, me traveling as much as I do, I know a lot of people in a lot of different places.
Right.
But to be honest with you, I've never felt more at home here than I have anywhere in the world I've been.
A lot of people say that about Acadiana,
Absolutely.
too. Yeah.
People don't realize, people outside of Louisiana they think New Orleans is Louisiana.
It's not.
It is not. Acadiana and the surrounding areas is where the culture is, the people, the food, the black parties, and the boucheries, and how everybody gets a part of the pig or whatever they're slaughtering, and they go in their own separate ways, and then they come back and they eat as a community, and that's what it's all about.
It's a great place. If anyone's listening that has not been to Acadiana, please come and visit us. We would love to have you. That's the other thing too. We're so welcoming and inviting of everyone. Like, hey, come see what we're doing.
Prime example, when we were moving in, my next door neighbor, very, very, very sweet. Her brother, I'd asked him to come over to help us move we have a big arm while we wanted to have move. He had 5 people show up.
Wow.
And they unloaded the truck and then stayed and chit-chatted. You don't get that anywhere else.
Right.
If somebody's on the side of the road or somebody needs help, we one of our staff had a thing and we helped them out. That's how it all works here.
Right.
And it's a sense of community. I have never, I have people coming to me at the grocery store when I'm in uniform, and they just give me a big hug and they're like, "We're so happy that you opened it. We're so happy you're here." And that's just, you don't get that anymore.
Yeah, that's the best feeling.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Okay, we are going to take a break, and when we come back, we have more with Chef Christopher Thames. So come back to us. It's the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on Newstalk 96.5 KPAL.
Don's Exterminating Company would like to inform you that as temperatures drop and sugarcane fields are being harvested, mice and rats are looking for a new home. Don't let it be your home. Protect your home or business from becoming a breeding ground for mice and rats. The best way to prevent a rodent infestation is a good defense with exterior bait stations, and rust-proof copper mesh around entry points are a must. Call Don's for a free estimate on a guaranteed full general pest control service with a solid rodent prevention plan. And termite swarming season is near. Don't wait until treatment costs peak to invest in a termite protection plan for your home or business. Termite colonies consume wood 24 hours a day and 365 days a year. So call Don's today for a free evaluation and receive a winter discount on an initial termite treatment with a state-certified termite bond. Don's Exterminating Company, protecting families from pests locally for 47 years. Call them at 337-235-0056 or visit them online at donsexterm.com.
Foundation failure, a homeowner's worst nightmare. Bricks crack, doors stick, sheetrock breaks. The symptoms are clear and should not be ignored. Relax. It might not be as bad as it seems. Let the professionals at National Foundation Repair help you by diagnosing your problem and engineering a solution so you can rest easy once again. National Foundation Repair. We know foundation failure, so you don't have to.
In Lafayette, call 233-3258.
Do you have a family member who is getting older and can no longer be safely left alone? Get to know Visiting Angels, America's choice in senior home care. With over 500 offices, Visiting Angels assist adults nationwide to continue living in-home and avoid moving into a nursing home. Experienced, compassionate caregivers provide assistance in hygiene, meals, and light housework. Services provided up to 24 hours a day at affordable rates. For senior home care you can trust, check out visitingangels.com. Franchise opportunities available. Visitingangels.com.
There are many difficult choices in life, and one of the hardest is to choose hospice. If trust, compassion, and experience is what you're looking for, Hospice of Acadiana is an easy choice to make.
Hospice of Acadiana is Acadiana's oldest and only not-for-profit hospice. As the only hospice with over 12 nurses certified in hospice and palliative care and over 300 volunteers, Hospice of Acadiana is there to support the patient and their family members. A new program called Pet Peace of Mind allows them to take care of the patient's pets as well. At Hospice of Acadiana, they help meet the community needs with their Center for Loss and Transition. This includes bereavement services to any of the residents of Acadiana, not just those who use their services. You have the right to choose your hospice. Choose Hospice of Acadiana.
To learn more, call 337-232-1234. That's 337-232-1234. You take care of living, we'll take care of you. Acadiana's Hospice, Hospice of Acadiana.
Welcome back to the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. I'm your host, Tiffiany Decou, and we have been talking with Chef Christopher Thames with Grand Coteau Bistro. We were talking about how great Acadiana is, how Grand Coteau is a little secret that isn't so much of a secret anymore. And now, since you're from Texas, I'm going to have to ask you about barbecue. We've talked about this a lot. For some reason, in Acadiana, barbecue places don't do well. Eddie's Barbecue, which is more popular in North Louisiana. There's one in Alexandria, recently closed in Broussard. We have another barbecue place that's coming that is kind of localish, and it's going to be like a to-go barbecue place. But besides like barbecue plate lunches on Sundays, we don't really have a lot of barbecue places in Lafayette in town, or they don't do well, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because of the boucherie, like because, you know, butchering the pig is so big here. We have Johnson's, and Johnson's is barbecue. We have Two Paul's, which
I've heard of Two Paul's, and I hear great things about them. I just haven't been able to break away from my own business to go scouting. Exactly.
Right.
And being part of it. But I've heard from a couple of people that Two Paul's is really good. So I need to go try that.
Right. And then, I mean, from being from Texas, like barbecue is so big there.
And there's
like,
so many different styles.
Yeah. So, and it's so weird here. And then you'll go to North Louisiana and they have barbecue places there, even like roadside barbecue places off of the old highways, like when I go to visit my family in Minden.
We have the seafood in the south and they have the barbecue in the north.
Yeah. And I get, and then going to Alabama where it's like really big, like Texas, it's just I don't get why it doesn't do that well here. I don't know.
I don't know, and I just, you know, the amazing amount of food that we do have here, you know, and you talking about the boucheries, pork is very big. I
Yes.
just put a pork shank on my menu, and
It's been selling.
It's been selling like hotcakes, and it's a big brontosaurus, awesome, caveman over grits. Just think grits and grillade, but elevated just a little bit.
Nice.
And we've had an opportunity to have people come from 200 miles around. I had people from Alexandria, and Natchez, and all that kind of stuff. And our goal is to be your dining room away from home.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You come in, you're greeted with a smile. Yeah, if you make reservations, your table's ready for you. You got your name on it, and you feel special. You get that little VIP.
It's the whole whole theater of dining.
Absolutely, everything's a theater. From the bar to and I'm one of those chefs. A lot of chefs don't go to the dining room, but I love meeting who I feed because that gives me ideas. It gives me what people really need to. What people really want.
Right. It's nice feedback, too.
Absolutely.
You're getting it straight from them.
And having a little bit of background that I've had, people want to meet me and take pictures and all that kind of stuff, which I love because then they're posting it on Facebook, and that's just more stuff.
Yeah, more PR.
Twitter
and
Instagram and all these wonderful things.
All right, so we do quick fire questions for the chefs that come on the show. Just really off the top of your head questions. The first one I'm going to ask you.
All right, I'm nervous. Here we go.
Yeah. What music do you typically play in the kitchen?
Well, interesting. I have an iPod in there, and every night everybody gets their own choice.
Oh wow!
So we play Pandora, which
is
it's a streaming thing. So everybody gets their night, and 9 times out of 10 it ends up on 80s cardio. So I
can just imagine the air and
it is. We can have from Dre to Portishead to Erasure to Madonna to Elton John to Bowie, God bless him. And it's amazing. The other night we actually had on the soundtrack to Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Wow.
And we were all dancing on the line. So, we have fun. And, our family that we have hired, and I don't call them employees because they all take ownership of what they do. So, we give them leeway. And that gives us an opportunity to be happy with who we have. And if somebody comes into our family and, they need some help, we help them out as much as we possibly can. We create a family.
Oh, wow.
What is your post-shift drink?
Post-shift drink? My partner's is Crown, is his favorite. I'm not a drinker, but I do have, I drink mango, pureed mango nectar with ginger ale, and that's my favorite.
I think we talked about that on last week's show about bartenders making mocktails for people that aren't drinkers.
Absolutely.
And how maybe not necessarily a bar that catered to that would go well in Lafayette, but I would like to see it on more menus.
We're actually in the process of writing our own, and we're also talking about. I was talking to Julie last night.
Julie Calzone with
Julie
Eat
Calzone.
Lafayette,
and she was asking me about the new Lafayette drink, and we're going to bring that on too.
Oh, cool!
And we also have our own specialty drinks, like we do. It's called Saul Royale, and it's a mimosa, but it's made with tequila also.
Ooh!
Because La Corretta's owner makes his own tequila.
Wow! I did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
Absolutely. So he has a whole line of tequila, and so we do that. We have all kinds of fun stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
What is in your refrigerator at home right now?
That's interesting.
It's probably going to be the same thing that every single chef has said, and I think I'm going to retire the question.
Half a loaf of bread, a 12-pack of Diet Coke, a couple of energy drinks, and I think there's a green piece of cheese.
Yeah.
I'm never home.
Yeah, that's kind of the whole. Most of them are like nothing. But I'm never home.
Yeah, exactly. But my freezer has 3-gallon bags of pureed Ponchatoula strawberries that I can't wait to make into jam.
Ooh,
so I make my own jams. I make my own biscotti. I make my own, granola and all that for the restaurant, and we do we do sell that. So,
what is your death row meal?
Soft shell crabs, pan-seared, deglazed with grapefruit juice and toasted pecans.
That was very specific, and I appreciate that.
Because I've been asked that a couple of times. There's a couple of other items, too. I would love a nice 3-inch thick slab of foie gras and a baguette. Just plain by itself with a fig jam.
Yeah.
I actually have foie gras. I have like a whole buffet for my death row meal, and foie gras is on it for sure. In fact, I'd like just 20 because I'm going to die anyway.
Well, you can actually just give me a brioche and put foie gras and the soft shell, and I'm good.
There you go. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
And
it
you
was
guys
fantastic.
Go to Grand Coteau Bistro.
We need to take a trip.
Check it out. Grand Coteau is where it's at. Yeah. All right. That's our show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Join us next week, Sunday at 6 p.m. This has been Tiffiany Decou on News Talk 96.5 KPEL, and this has been the Lafayette Food Junkie Show. Thanks for listening, and as always, happy eating, Acadiana.